Just wanting to hear banging songs, you know what I mean? And I know I put out at least half the banging rap joints that's out there, so, you know, if I stop, it's over with.
DMX has died. The rapper's death follows his hospitalization after suffering a heart attack triggered by a drug overdose.
Y'all know the story already, you know what I'm saying? You used to be my dog, you was in my left, you know, screenwriter died, I thought you would die with me, you know? What happened was, you know, like I said, I had the crazy track record, Def Jam, everything was good. You know, I go to do the 6th album, and, you know,
Jay-Z
somebody
became
else takes
president.
over. Yeah. You know, when he first got the job, he hit me with the call like, yo, dog, DMX just running the building, like, yo, you good? Finished the album, shoot the video. What happened?
Big love. He was so competitive with me. I never met a human being more competitive with me, like ever, not even my big brother. Like, no one. We met battling. That's how we met. We was in the Bronx, in the pool hall. After that battle, he went to like a show. He got on stage, Jay-Z, where you at? I was like, this guy is nuts.
The sudden deaths of so many stars and how their names keep circling back to Jay-Z has folks raising eyebrows like never before. When you trace the patterns and pull on the threads, the whole thing starts to feel like a straight-up crime flick set in the shadows of the music industry. Back in the early 90s, Jay-Z wasn't the icon we know today. He was just a hungry Brooklyn hustler trying to carve his spot in a rap scene already run by giants. And when you're climbing that fast, you're bound to clash with other heavyweights. One of the biggest names in that ring, DMX.
Chilling with my man DMX. What's up, dog?
I'm good, man. You know, we just got off the radio. You know, we did our motherfucking thing.
Good to see you, man, because you're straight family, dog. Come on, let's not front about this. Do you know what I mean? We go back many years, man.
Exactly. It's been a few years since I've been here. But it's just like I seen him. It's just like I seen you like 2 weeks ago. You know what I mean?
Exactly, man.
Nothing ever changes, man. That's why I like with real people. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man.
When you with real people, you ain't gotta worry about changing. You ain't gotta worry about acting funny next time you see him or no extra. It's always gonna be the same thing every time you see me.
What I respect about you is you keep your passion, man. You keep your emotion, you know?
Well, I mean, at this stage in the game, that's pretty much all I got.
Yeah.
You know, that's what's gonna get me where I need to be. You know how I feel about it. And I feel strongly about this, man. I ain't gonna let a mother take it from me.
Yeah, man.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. You're out there fighting, man, just representing the struggle.
Yep. I mean, I gotta follow it. I got real people that recognize. So I'm good. You know what I'm saying? So all that, you know, in the presence of the truth, the disappears. Oh, hold on.
Come on, man.
Gotta put the R on top of the R.
Exactly.
There you go.
Exactly, man.
You know, that's the double R. You know?
Tell us about Rough
me,
Riders.
man.
What does Rough Riders mean? Come on, man.
Rough Riders, double R. You know what I mean? We ride rough. You know what I'm saying? We ain't just no rap label or group of that put together some MCs and shit. You know what I'm saying? We real from the streets doing real things. Around and you won't get found. Trust me. You know what I mean? It's straight like that. We're a group of brothers that no longer want to be or do the things that we had to do to get money. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you know, the talent, let's do this. And we did it. You know what I'm saying? But we are street.
Oh, no doubt. And you represent the dude from the street.
Yeah.
You're straight up street cat.
I am the hood. I am the streets. You Hey, yo, this is Top Dog Grand Champ, DMX. And you checking out Westwood TV. You turn that channel, and I'm gonna break your fucking fingers, all right?
It's Westwood TV, chilling out with the most realest dog in the whole game, the guy who reinvented the game, the guy who put it on there, man. I mean, you came out at a time when it was all shiny suits, it was all like sparkly shoes.
I gave Def Jam their best year ever.
Exactly.
And I'm the only artist to date with 2 platinum albums in 1 year.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Understand
and what did
that.
they do? They sold the company. They invited me into a house and they sold it. Yeah, I am mad. You know what I mean? All right, I'm mad. I feel betrayed, man, but it. You know what I mean? It's a business and I'm gonna carry it like a business. But my music is still my music. And you play on my music, you play on my life. You play on my life, you're gonna disappear. You know what I mean?
Yeah, things are definitely changing there, man.
Yeah, they got a whole new staff now, so I gotta go in and see what's up, you know what I'm saying?
Now, you got issues with the industry. What's going down with the industry, dog?
The industry is full of a bunch of sucking, riding, bending over the desk, straight up like that. Whoever don't like it, bring it. Bring it. I don't give a bring it.
Now, DMX, born Earl Simmons, wasn't just spitting rhymes, he was living them. His energy hit like a freight train, his pain was raw, and his message, unfiltered truth. He wasn't polished, he was primal. And when he dropped It's Dark and Hell is Hot in '98, it didn't just shake the charts, it shattered them. That debut album was a war cry, and DMX became the voice of the streets, the rage of a generation. He wasn't just telling stories, he was the story. And from that moment on, the rap game was never the same, especially with Jay-Z moving in the shadows. DMX's music, man, it hit different. It was raw, straight from the gut, no filters, no sugarcoating. He wasn't just rapping for the streets, he was rapping from the trenches. Every line was soaked in pain, redemption, and that fight to stay standing when life's trying to knock you down. Songs like Rough Riders Anthem and Slippin' weren't just bangers, they were survival soundtracks. If you ever felt broken but refused to fold, you felt DMX in your bones. He had that rare gift. He could spit with fire, then drop a prayer that left the whole room silent. One minute he had the crowd going wild, the next he had them crying. That raspy voice, that raw honesty, it made him unforgettable. He wasn't just an artist, he was a revolution in a hoodie. But the music game back then, it wasn't just about lyrics and beats, it was chess, played in the shadows. The late 90s and early 2000s were a battlefield where fame came at a cost. Power didn't just shift, it got snatched.
They got this new breed of rapper that's paying DJs to play their
Right.
and, you know what I'm saying? They sucking the record label executive and it's like there's too much of that going on.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Let me be me. Let me be the artist that I am and just play my music, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Now they want you all up under this, you know, sitting at the going to dinner with them and like that, and you know, all that favor for a favor shit. I don't get down like that. Look, I give you the music, you give my money. That's it.
And behind the scenes, silent beefs, industry politics, and unspoken rules ran the show. DMX started peeping what was really going on. He saw the slick moves, the power plays, and one name that kept coming up as the game got reshaped, Jay-Z. While X was fighting demons out loud, Jay was quietly climbing and rewriting the rules as he went. Word on the street was that not everything in the industry was as it seemed. Power moves were happening behind closed doors, deals were being cut in the dark, and certain artists, they just faded out, quietly, mysteriously. But DMX, he wasn't built to stay silent when things smelled off. By 2004, he stopped holding back. His interviews turned into raw truth sessions. He called out betrayal, fake loyalty, and the twisted cost of fame. He wasn't playing politics. If he felt someone was pulling strings behind the curtain, he said it, with names. And even if it meant standing solo, X wasn't scared to shake the table.
A lot of the love I had for wanting to be a part of the industry is not there anymore. I don't even associate myself with the industry, you know what I'm saying? I'm not an industry artist. I'm an artist in the industry. You know?
And you've always stood alone and
Yeah.
you know, bloodline,
I
you're
don't hang with you're not gonna see me at every party, every industry party, all the clubs. I go somewhere quiet, man, shoot pool with me and my mans and them, you know what I'm saying?
He spoke with fire in his chest, warning that the industry was crawling with masks, fake personas worn by people too scared to show who they really were. He saw the game for what it was, a ruthless machine that breaks you down just to sell your pain. But DMX, he refused to be molded by it. No bending, no bowing. He was gonna fight until the end, even if it cost him everything. That's what makes his warning to Pimp C and others feel even more bone-chilling now. He knew something, and he wasn't keeping it to himself. Way before things got heated between him and Jay-Z, DMX's path had already crossed with another major name, Diddy. In his early grind, X almost signed with Bad Boy Records. Almost. But Puff turned him down. Later on Drink Champs, DMX dropped a wild gem. Rough Riders told Puff straight up, if you like the locks, you'd love X. And still, Puff passed. You're gonna love X. That's what they told Puff. But when DMX spit those bars, Diddy didn't hear a polished superstar. He heard something too raw, too unfiltered, too street. Puff passed on him, thinking X wasn't the right fit for the shiny image he was crafting at Bad Boy. For most artists, that kind of rejection would have been a knockout blow. But for X, man, it just lit a fire under him.
Yeah, 33 South Broadway. Rough Rider Studio, and I had my jaw. It's in Yonkers.
Yonkers.
And my jaw was still wired shut.
This is when you got signed. I heard about the story.
This is when he knew he would sign me.
Okay.
My jaw was wired shut, and the locks that got signed first to Puff, and D from Rough Riders, Darren, you know what I mean? He brought me, the Puff, and one thing I respect about Puff, one thing I respect about him, and real is that at least he told me to my face what he felt. And when D told Puff, he said, yo, if you like the loss, you're gonna love X. And I spit or whatever, and he was like, his voice is too rough, he's not marketable. Didn't like it, but I had to respect it.
Let's make some noise from Puff.
No. Hold up. He came right behind and tried to clean up. So maybe 3 weeks later, when he found out I was getting signed for Def Jam, he was like, yo, I'll lace your pockets. I'll double what they gave you and lace your pockets. I'm like, nah, homie. Because if you didn't see the beast that I was
What point
then,
did he tell you that? What point?
I told you, like maybe 3 weeks after I got signed to Def Jam. He was like, yo, I'll lace your pockets. I'll double what they gave you and lace your pockets. I'm like, nah, I'm cool.
So it's a legendary story.
You didn't know. I said, but I respect that about Puff.
Right.
I mean, because
Gotta go to this party.
they send you on a wild goose. I mean, they won't tell you. They're like, oh,
Industry.
come in there.
Yeah, industry
I
talk.
respect the fact that he told me to my face.
real
He said,
shit.
you know what, your voice is too rough and you're not marketable. So at least he was willing to, in my mind, what I think he's saying is, work on this.
Right.
So actually, listen,
Constructive criticism.
It's a famous story that said that when you and Jay-Z battled, right? Yeah, because this battle happened, right? Correct?
A couple times.
Couple of times. It wasn't just once.
Nah.
So when you and
when the
Jay-Z
people,
battled,
some tend to refer to it when it happened backstage.
And we heard that Big L had recorded that one
Yeah,
battle.
they said that Big L
That's
recorded
crazy by
that
itself.
battle. Do you remember Big L being there?
Vaguely.
No, I can't say
Not
that.
at all.
I know Big L. I know Big L. I'm a
Right.
But you was trying to take Jay-Z out.
Not long after, Def Jam saw what Puff didn't. They recognized that hunger, that flame, and they snatched up DMX. That move didn't just help his career, it flipped the whole rap game upside down in the late 90s. The moment Get At Me Dog dropped, everything changed. Then came It's Dark and Hell Is Hot, and that album, it hit like a wrecking ball. Suddenly, DMX was everywhere, louder, harder, and more real than anybody else in the game. Diddy tried to come back around, tried to double up the offer once X started soaring, but DMX wasn't about that. He stayed solid, stayed loyal. He didn't fold for the glitz or last-minute promises. That right there, it set the tone for the rest of his legacy. X wasn't chasing cosigns, he was chasing truth. But even at Def Jam, it wasn't all wins and smooth rides. That label, born in 1984 by Russell Simmons and Rick Rubin, had a legacy of its own. It raised legends like LL Cool J, Run DMC, and Public Enemy. But behind all that shine, there were shadows. And for DMX, those shadows were getting harder to ignore. From the outside, Def Jam looked like the promised land for any rapper with bars and a story to tell. But once you stepped inside, it wasn't all platinum plaques and freedom. It was a jungle of politics, power moves, and quiet battles for control.
Away from niggas who like pounded a few more niggas out, son, you know what I mean? You know, and that, but I'm gonna tell you the truth. I talked to Mace about it, you know what I'm saying? Because I know my true call in life is to be a pastor, you know what I'm saying? So I talked to Mace about it, and I'm like, yo, you know, I'm tired of dealing with these fake in the industry, and you know what I'm saying? You know, I'm gonna killing somebody. And he's like, yo, as long as you have that talent, you know what I'm saying? You don't have the right to say whether or not, you know, you want to use it. You know what I'm saying? That's God's gift to you, and as long as you have it, you have to use it. And it made a lot of sense. I was like, yeah, you're right. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, you know what I mean? I've been through worse than dealing with fake before. You know what I'm saying? If that's all it is, I could do that for God. I mean, I could do that for him. You know what I mean? And you know, that's why I decided to keep moving. You know what I'm saying? Because yo, every day, man, it's like, you know, I'm a hood, so I come to the hood, you know what I'm saying, on a regular. And every day it's like, yo, when you gonna come up with another album? You know what I mean? When you hit us again, X, the game needs you. And the more they say they need me, the more I realize that, you know what I'm saying? Yo, this is my purpose, man. This is my place. You know what I mean?
So you back now?
Yeah. I mean,
What's up,
I'm over here. Only nigga in rap, man, that can do this, son. Can't come through their hood like that. Can't be serious, man. I got wild hoods right here in Yonkers. Right here, you know what I mean? Oh, ain't just one project. All that float everywhere, man. Got niggas everywhere, man. You know what I mean?
Up the whole
Stuff
city.
it. Exactly.
So what's the word, man? I mean, you with Def Jam and Nada. What's going
I'm
on?
with Sony now. I'm with Sony now, you know what I'm saying? And I had to get off of Def Jam. Like,
What happened, man? You was over there for years. That's
Cats playing games, so I'm going raw. Run up in that building and kick down the door. Y'all don't want no problems with X. Y'all want to see them four-legged beasts with them collars on their necks or the downstairs with the text. You know the rest. What's wrong with that? Y'all take respect. Dog hot. That's why them cowards froze me quick. I pop up, catch on some cozy. with Chinese slippers and silk scarves on. Out here trying to get his bark on. You wonder why the dog gone. I couldn't take it. Come on, man. Real talk. Real talk.
Right. So, I mean, when did you know was going on, X?
Like, you know, when you had lip gloss and Chinese slippers on, oh, I didn't hear that, man. Like, money, you playing with a real right now. So, you know what I mean? I ain't got time for that, yo.
So, yo,
don't know what this music is, man.
Huh?
Just know what this music is.
Yeah, like, I mean, well, you got with lip gloss, you know?
Right.
The same when you should come out. And when you can't be serious. Come on, man.
So being that you're not on Def Jam no more, you know, what's your relationship with Jay-Z? You know what I mean? Did that shit affected by you not leaving a label or whatever?
Somewhat, you know what I'm saying? Somewhat, you know what I'm saying? Because it's like, I knew from the beginning it put him in an awkward situation. So I got to take that into consideration, you know what I'm saying? It's like it put him in a real awkward situation. Like, yo, that's my dog for a minute, son, you know what I'm saying? It's like one of the few rappers I respected and was like genuinely happy to see him when I saw him, you know what I'm saying? And that's put us both in an awkward situation.
Man.
Awkward situation.
Yeah, the records together and all of that.
Yeah, I genuinely with him.
Yeah.
I think he tried to hold me down.
Right.
You know, but it wasn't much he could do, and then that comes with putting yourself in that predicament. You know what I mean? It's like, I ain't gonna put myself in a place where I gotta walk around with handcuffs. You know what I mean? You don't do that. You don't say, all right, I'll take a job, but I gotta walk around with handcuffs. Because then somebody punch you in the face, then what you gonna do? You got handcuffs. You know what I mean? So it's like, you know, that is what it is, man.
By the late 90s into the early 2000s, that legendary label had turned into a full-blown corporate machine, where talent alone wasn't enough to survive. When DMX came through those doors, he came in swinging, raw, unfiltered, and unapologetically real. His albums hit the game like earthquakes, shaking the foundation of the industry. But it didn't take long for him to see the cracks behind the shine. Def Jam wasn't just pushing music, it was pushing agendas. Suddenly, it wasn't about who had the hardest bars, it was about who was playing the game. Executives started playing favorites, steering deals to benefit their chosen few. Creative freedom, that got tighter by the day. And the pressure to polish up and go mainstream, it was like a chokehold. Even while DMX was topping charts and packing out arenas, the politics were creeping in. And right at the center of that power web was Lyor Cohen, the CEO of Def Jam at the time. His name held major weight. Some say too much. Because when you control the board, you decide who gets to move and who gets left behind. Lyor Cohen wasn't just some label exec. He was a power broker, the kind of guy who could flip a whole career with one phone call. His reputation? Ruthless, but respected. Even Dame Dash, who's gone off on Lyor for years, blasting him for being sneaky and manipulative, still admitted the man had serious pull. That's how deep his influence ran. But when Lyor was asked about Dame in an interview, his response was ice cold, barely even acknowledging him. That one moment showed the world exactly how cutthroat the industry could be. No love, no loyalty, just business.
X was with it, Ja was with it.
Jay wasn't with it.
I tried 2 times to make that album happen. X was with it, Ja was with it.
Why you think Jay didn't want to be?
This is just my opinion. Just my opinion. I don't think Jay wanted to get in that room with X and Ja. It was not.
One more than the other, or
Listen, no,
both?
No, both. Jay is a very smart person. He's gonna do an album with R. Kelly. R. Kelly worships Jay-Z. Worships him.
And Kanye West.
Kanye West worships Jay-Z.
And Jay Electronica.
They all worship the nigga. X and Ja don't worship Jay-Z. You're my man, but when that beat comes on, you're not above me getting at you. And that's what I do not feel Jay wanted to deal with. He didn't want to deal with... You know, I'm saying these they would come at each other subliminally. So it wasn't a direct hit where they're gonna say your name and thing, but these they coming at you. So do I want to make a whole album with these coming at me? And if I'm Jay-Z, there's a slight chance that, what is gonna say, I'm not the nicest.
That's what right. That's what it's not worth it.
Where's my win?
Right.
The only thing I'm seeing with this is potential loss. But now people are saying, these is better than you.
Behind closed doors, Lyor was playing chess, and one of his boldest moves, turning Jay-Z against his day one partner, Dame Dash. See, Lyor understood the soul of Rockefeller better than most. He knew Dame was the brains, the strategist, the one calling the plays, while Jay was the polished star in front of the cameras. That tension, Lyor saw it and he used it. He dangled a solo throne in front of Jay, gave him the keys to a kingdom, but only if he walked away from Dame. And Jay, he took the deal. Just like that, Dame started getting edged out, and Rockefeller's foundation began to crack. But Lior didn't stop there. He also knew one thing for sure. Jay-Z hated being in DMX's shadow during the late 90s. DMX had the streets on fire, the fans locked in, and the kind of energy that couldn't be faked. Meanwhile, Jay was simmering, quietly watching, waiting to step out from behind the smoke. Def Jam's top dogs knew exactly what they were doing. They watched the tension between DMX and Jay-Z simmer, and instead of diffusing it, they fed the fire, quietly, strategically.
My man Steve Max in 3333 was like, yo, y'all got record deals, we get record deals. And he had an ill team. You know, at the time they would talk about kill, and that's what everybody wanted to hear. So, you know, everybody was laughing at my crew and, you know, being on their side. I'm talking about every time I went uptown.
We had a group, you know what I'm saying, on the Rough Riders called the Harlem Knights. Kids from Harlem, you know what I'm saying? And they were supposed to battle Original Flavor.
He used to roll with the Rough Riders and DMX. So he was like, I'm gonna bring my man DMX. And I was like, all right, I'm gonna bring Jay. And they was always talking about Original Flavor and Future Sound.
When Jay-Z was like, he did songs with Original Flavor, and you know what I'm saying? I'm like, you know, Top Dog and Double R, so I'm like, you know, I'm gonna be there. You know, you step up money, then I'm gonna step up. You know what I'm saying? It's like, all right, let them go. But you know, I was just there for more like support.
So we said we gotta meet at a place that's neutral. So we met in the Bronx, and we met in the pool hall, and we got it on. So everyone battled, and they were all kind of whack, those battles. And I have it on tape, but my man Y from Rough Riders would not let us tape, and God bless his dead, Big L was taping, and you know, why I got the tape, why going, don't tape us, our stuff ain't copywritten. So we couldn't tape DMX, but we got Jay's part of it. You know, and we probably would have had millions off that if we would have taped that battle.
I gotta say, I learned something from that battle. I learned, you know what I'm saying, that as much energy as I had, I learned that it still had to be controlled energy. You know what I'm saying? Because reckless energy doesn't have you losing your wind and having your words coming out, not clear anything. You have energy, we're talking.
Jay and DMX battled for hours, and guns was pulled out, and, you know, it was very tense, but it was real hip hop. You know, nothing happened, and we all kind of had admiration for each other because we had an equal amount of respect. You know, it ended up being a tie. You know, they said they won, we said we won, but it wasn't no clear-cut winner.
I still won, you know what I mean? But I learned that during that battle. You know what I'm saying? I drove away from Baltimore just for that battle and went right back. I don't always do the right thing, but I ask you to forgive me because I need you here with me. Without you in my life, it's empty.
Big had it, Pac had it. Certain artists had it. Like they had a love that was strong.
Think back how some people did me like violence was the remedy. Because I think of that now, I will pray for my enemy.
It's more like a movement with J and X. It was a movement with Pac and Big. And you could feel that because the movement's still going. To me, that's what makes an artist special. When you live for something, when you stand for something.
Your life only means something if it has to do with what's right. And even only then, it only means as much as what you stand for.
They started building Jay up, giving him more shine, more power, while letting the silent rivalry grow in the background. That's the kind of control these execs had. They didn't just manage artists, they rewrote the whole industry storyline, deciding who'd rise and who'd vanish. And when it came to giving credit to the ones who built the foundation, please, that part always got erased. Even after DMX passed, Lior Cohen's absence at his funeral said it all. This was the same man who gained so much from DMX's legacy. And when it was time to show face, nowhere to be found. It was a cold reminder. In this business, loyalty don't always mean what it should. Sometimes it's just a prop in the game. Eventually, things between DMX and Jay-Z started bubbling. The streets started talking. Fans picked up on the shift. Sure, they had once shared stages and shown respect, but behind the scenes, ego was creeping in and power was shifting. Years later, on The Breakfast Club, the OGs behind Rough Riders, Joaquin Wah Dean, Darren D. Dean, and Siobhan Dean, finally spoke out. They confirmed the whispers. DMX and Jay might have been cool by the end, but back when Jay became Def Jam president, It got tense. Real tense.
Everybody knows you've had battles with drugs throughout the years.
Yeah.
So at the time, they were saying that, you was on drugs. That's why they didn't want to invest in you.
Right. They already invested. What you mean they didn't want to invest? They already invested. Like I said, the album was recorded, shot the video, everything. That was just some, you know what that was.
Do you ever feel
Let's
like
get rid of the competition.
Do you ever feel like people at the label didn't do enough for you when they could tell that you really needed help? Or do you think that you were too far gone?
No, I was never too far gone. I mean, it just, all I needed was just do me like you do everybody else. You don't sit there and speculate about this and think about this and assume this. Just do me like you do everybody else, and it's gonna be all right, man. You know what I mean? But that never happened.
So I think with DMX too, you never, Def Jam, I feel, never put a lot into DMX. It was always the groundwork with DMX.
According to Chivon, it all came down to one word: ego. X wasn't feeling the way Jay handled his weight at the label, and he made that known. Dean remembered one moment that said it all. Jay-Z once called DMX and told him, "The inmates have taken over the prison." And just like that, things shifted. That line didn't sit right with X. It hit him sideways, like a subtle jab dressed up as a joke. To DMX, it felt like disrespect from a man he once considered a peer, not a boss. There was history between them, real history. That infamous battle back in '93, it wasn't just lyrical sparring, it was two young titans going head to head, and in DMX's eyes, he won that fight. So years later, having to answer to Jay as president of Def Jam, that felt like betrayal wrapped in business.
You did a record with Jadakiss called Unheard.
I only gave you the crown so I could shoot it off your head.
A lot of people thought some lyrics that you said you were referring to Jay-Z.
If I was referring to Jay-Z, I'd have said Jay-Z. I'd have said a lot more than that if I was referring to, you know what I'm saying?
In the past, it was like a lot of rumors about beef between the Rough Riders, but since then, have you guys reconciled your differences?
Yeah, I guess you could say that. Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
I'm good.
You good? You're a pretty intense dude, bro.
Darren D. Dean explained it clear. To DMX, becoming subordinate to someone he once outshined, that was a hard pill to swallow. Jay-Z may have had the title, but X had the streets. And in his mind, that meant more. The shift in power didn't inspire X. It ignited his frustration. By 2006, he'd had enough. DMX cut ties with Def Jam and signed with Columbia Records, dead set on taking back the reins. But even as he walked away, the rivalry and all the quiet moves behind it kept haunting the narrative. The energy never left. DMX being DMX, he didn't bury the drama. He brought it to light on a podcast, speaking the same way he always did, with full chest and zero filter. He opened up about how he always treated Jay like family. But in the end, he said the love didn't run both ways. According to X, loyalty wasn't returned, and that silence said more than any diss ever could. When things got rough, when loyalty was supposed to step up and show out, Jay-Z was silent.
A little bit just about like what he meant to the culture and maybe meant to you personally.
By the way, the first time I boycotted the Grammys was for him. We both came out that year. He didn't get nominated. He dropped 2 albums, had 2 #1 albums in the same year.
Right. I remember that. Yeah.
They didn't even nominate him. I won that year for rap album. So my first Grammy win, I wasn't in. I wasn't even in the building because I boycotted it for him. So there was a competitive thing, but it was big love. He was so competitive with me. I never met a human being more competitive with me, like ever, not even my big brother. Like, no one. We met battling. That's how we met. We was in the Bronx, in the pool hall. After that battle, he went to like a show. He got on stage, "Jay-Z, where you at?" I was like, this guy is nuts. He was just all passion. My fondest memory of DMX is he improved my stage show. Remember, rap tours wasn't going out at that time. There's no rap tours before. Right. Maybe the Fresh Fest in the 80s or sometime, but there's no rap shows. Me, DMX, Method Man, Redman, Child, The Lox, this tour is packed. First night, 360 sold out. Everyone has a great show. Meth and Red are flying in the audience. They're incredible performers. Everyone's destroying it. So X is about to go on, and I'm like, I want to see. I got like
X is before you.
X is going before me. The lights are up. He's in the hallway. He goes, it goes doom doom.
Yeah, I just got the shit.
And now the arena's shaking. And I'm like, this is cool. And then it goes doom doom. And then he goes, and the arena goes crazy. First of all, it's deafening, and I'm like, oh. He's running back and forth. He has a thing like a Alizé and Hennessy mixed. It looks like blood. It's like he's drinking blood, right? And he's running back and forth. 1, 2, 1, 2. Here we go, 1, 2. And going halfway through the show, then he takes his shirt off. And all the girls are screaming, ah!
And the dog chain.
Yeah, the dog chain is dripping and he's going nuts, right? And I'm like, this is halfway through. Now first the guys are going crazy. Now the girls are going crazy. And then he gets to the end and he starts a prayer.
Oh my God.
And now they're crying.
Yeah.
The whole arena is crying. Yeah. They're crying tears. And I'm like, they're like, hey, now you go. And I had Hard Knock Life on, so it was like, it's a hard knock life. Put your hands up, people. Everybody finished the show that night. Everybody's happy, by the way. And I was like, we got 56 dates of this. And I was like, but I had to figure, I'm like, okay, I have to figure out my space in this. Yes. You know, I have to figure out where do I exist. And I was like, in my opinion, in my mind, this is what I believe. I was like, he can't rap better than me. So on that tour was the most acapellas ever. Everything was, cut the music off. I'm the Dookie Dookie Dookie.
Nowhere to be found. And DMX, he felt that. Deep. He didn't just call it out in private, he aired it out. X said that after all the brotherhood, respect, and love he showed Jay over the years, the lack of support spoke volumes. The bond clearly wasn't mutual. And then came the tragedy. DMX's death was officially labeled an overdose, but not everyone's buying that clean-cut explanation. Fans, bloggers, even insiders have whispered about another layer to the story. His rocky ties with Jay-Z and the heavy pressure from the industry. Some believe it wasn't just personal demons, it was the weight of the system. Now let's be clear, there's no solid proof, no receipts, but that hasn't stopped the speculation from spreading like wildfire. Because DMX never hid the truth. He spoke loud about the dark side of fame, the manipulation, the power games, the way real ones get chewed up while fakes rise. And when he passed, people paid attention to who stayed quiet. Jay-Z eventually broke that silence. He gave a tribute, calling DMX one of the realest to ever do it. He even admitted X had always been his biggest competition. But to some fans, that came too little, too late. Because when X needed that respect while he was alive, all he got was silence.
Found dead in his hotel room.
At 97.9 The Box, on-air personalities and fans are reflecting on the sudden death of Chad Pimp C Butler, better known as one half of the group UGK.
He's just such a colorful personality. He was just a joy to talk to, and he was just such a wonderful storyteller.
When you heard Pimp C, you knew that it was Pimp C. You were not confused that it was any other artist from any other city. You know exactly who it was when you heard it. So he definitely had his own style, his own swagger.
The rapper was found dead earlier today at a hotel on the trendy Sunset Strip in Hollywood.
Jay-Z spoke on his bond with DMX, recalling how their stage chemistry was something unmatched. He said X brought out a different kind of fire in him, made him sharper, hungrier. Jay gave credit where it was due, admitting that DMX's rawness, his pain, and his truth couldn't be duplicated. That kind of real, it only comes around once. His tribute felt genuine at first, but just when folks started to accept the respect as sincere, another name brought the suspicion right back. Pimp C, one half of the iconic Southern duo UGK alongside Bun B, Pimp C wasn't just another rapper in the mix. He was a whole movement. His sound blended gritty realism with smooth Southern sauce, and his deep, laid-back voice carried messages that hit harder than most bars on the charts.
16 years old, man. Hey, man, let me tell you something, man. Don't let nobody tell you can't chase your dream and go do what you want to do, man. It's out there for you to get it, man. See this man out here getting it, man. We out here getting it, put in their face. Man, it's, you know what I'm saying? It's I ain't gonna say how many years later on it is, but it's a whole bunch of years later, you know what I'm talking about? We still looking good in the hood, you know what I'm talking about? Tabernacle Sanctuary, alligator souffle. What that new one was?
Cathedral.
Cathedral.
At a time when the East and West Coast ran the game, Pimp C made sure the South had a seat at the table and then flipped the table over. UGK's legendary feature on Jay-Z's Big Pimpin' shot them into the mainstream spotlight and stamped Pimp C as a true force in the culture. But Pimp wasn't just dropping verses, he was dropping truth. He didn't play industry games. He called out the fakes, he aired out the politics, and he wasn't afraid to speak on the power players who moved in silence. That's why his name still gets brought up in whispers, because Pimp C said things most were too scared to even think. Pimp C's brutal honesty, it earned him major respect, but also some serious enemies.
Pimp C, did you know Pimp C?
Yeah, hell yeah. Hell yeah, that's my dick. Him and Bun B, you know, we all signed a jive, I think, at about the same time, and did the Menace to Society soundtrack when they did the Pocket Full of Stones and me and Pimp actually became real good friends, you know what I'm saying? Like, we'd just hang out just to be kicking it, you know? I mean, you know, potheads and you know what I'm saying? Man, that used to smoke so much weed. So, I mean, yeah, me and him and Bun B, they did the Pocket Full of Stones. We did the Trigger Got No Heart soundtrack, and they dropped their album and they did really good. And we both was getting money at the same time. And that's why I didn't understand a lot of where the hate was coming from a few, you know? Because me and UGK dropped albums at the same time. We both got money. We both went gold on the same label at the same time. Had the same fans and everything was cool. You know what I'm saying? Nobody hating on nobody. Did songs together and kicked it. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't understand it's money for everybody. It ain't no need for that hater shit. You know what I'm saying?
Who was hating?
A lot of man, you know, you gotta. This industry was and is sickening when it comes to that kind of. You know, it's you know, oh, I want, you know, I want my homeboy to blow up. We gonna blow his up instead of this. We ain't gonna know who. Put it this way, we ain't gonna know who the best rapper in the world is because he getting hated on right now.
Damn, that's deep right there.
He getting hated on like a. Ain't letting that do shit. He probably hard as out rap everybody, even me, everybody in this. You know what I'm saying? But he getting hated on because dude want his cousin or his friend to blow up instead of him. Some hater. You know, this industry is crazy, man. It's too many politics and.
Right, and speaking of Pimp C, because the reason why I asked you that is because Bun B, he been doing interviews for years, and I want to get your opinion on this story he been telling for years, man. So he said that Jay-Z, he wanted Pimp C and Bun B on the Big Pimpin' song, and he said that when Jay-Z first asked him, Pimp C said no because, you know, Tupac didn't like Jay-Z. So he said no to the Big Pimpin' song because Tupac had beef with Jay-Z. How you feel about that, yo?
That sound about right. Sound about right.
By the mid-2000s, UGK had already locked in legendary status. Tracks like International Players Anthem proved that Southern rap wasn't just holding its own, it was running its own lane with power and pride. And Pimp C, he was becoming the South's loudest voice, unapologetic, untouchable, and rising fast. His solo music was gaining heat, but it was his mouth that kept the streets talking. Pimp didn't bite his tongue for anybody, and that made him dangerous in a world where most artists play the game to survive. Then came the shock that rocked hip-hop. December 2007, Pimp C was found dead in a hotel room in Los Angeles. The official report claimed it was an accidental overdose mixed with sleep apnea. But fans and industry watchers, they weren't convinced. Too many things didn't add up. Rumors started swirling, especially after whispers that Jay-Z had wanted to collaborate with Pimp on a track. But according to insiders, that move didn't go as planned. The word is that Pimp C originally turned down Jay's Big Pimpin' feature at first. Why? Because he had questions, real questions, about a chapter in hip-hop history that most folks were too scared to even mention. And once Pimp started pushing for answers, everything changed. Who shot 2PAC in New York? That's the question Pimp C was asking, and it wasn't for clout.
I mean, it was crazy because on our side, over here on the West, all we seen was Pac go out there and come back shot. And that's what we reacted off of. In the Midwest and in the West. You know, like I say, half the people from California be from Texas and like everybody, you know, we rock together. Everybody was rocking together. We always rocking, you know what I'm saying? And when that happened, it hit everybody. Even the Midwest, you know what I'm saying? From Texas all the way to Cali, it was hot over there. And all we seen was Pac go out there and come back shot. So yeah, we had a lot of questions and it was a lot of, you know, tension going on. Yeah, a lot of confusion. I can understand Pimp tripping like that. That's why.
Yeah, and that was the crazy thing, because he never met Tupac personally, and he was loyal to Tupac, and he didn't want to collab with Jay-Z. That's the crazy part, yo.
Crazy. I mean, well, you know, you got a lot of rappers be fans of other rappers. Like, you know how they say some of these is your favorite rappers, favorite rapper. Like, when I met Tupac, he knew all the words to all of my songs. The words to everything. To 187 Proof, to Welcome to the Ghetto, to the stutter rap. He could even spit the stutter rap and all of that. Captain America's brain with the 9, he was spitting all of that. Like, he knew the words. So, you know, I know all of the words to like NWA. Like, I know all the words to every NWA song down there made it. So, yeah, we all listen to each other's music and we are fans of each other. So, yeah, I could see Pimp C, you know, tripping like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, that. Until we get some answers, I don't know what I'm not doing because we didn't know what was going on. Nobody knew what was happening, you know? Like, why he go out there and come back shot?
Even though he never had a personal bond with 2PAC, the respect ran deep. Pac stood for truth, for calling out the system, for pushing back when silence was safer. And Pimp, he carried that same energy. Pimp C wanted answers before tying his name to certain power players in the game. He wasn't just thinking about features or hits, he was thinking legacy, truth, integrity. And that mindset, it was bold, especially with Jay-Z's influence growing fast behind the scenes. Some believe this boldness stirred the pot between Pimp and Jay. Others say it went even deeper, that Pimp C might have picked up on something darker. Something about the inner workings of the industry, the silent moves, and the untouchable alliances forming out of sight. Was he just standing on principle? Or had he seen too much?
Pimp and Ken also recently did an interview, and he alleged that Jay-Z had a hand in the demise of Pimp C due to the fact that he allegedly had an explicit video of Beyonce. What are your thoughts?
Yeah. That sound like that little girl who said R. Kelly and the Leo was her daddy. Come on. Toxicology report says that Pimp C died with lean in the system, right?
They did.
Just coming home from prison, still snorting that cocaine, sipping that syrup. Everybody know Pimp C blow coke. Everybody knew that. It ain't no surprise. It's no surprise. Everybody know that. So it's no surprise. The toxicology report says he died of this drug cocktail in his system. With the ain't no conspiracy behind that. There ain't no conspiracy behind that, homie.
Closed book. Ain't no.
Homie, ain't no conspiracy behind that. More kill themselves when they fresh out of prison, they get this money. More come home from prison and kill themselves back to them old eating habits, that lifestyle. So, man, this killed that homie. They don't give a damn about no having no picture of it, video of it. This was his bit, man. Come on now.
You feel like Beyonce had a video floating around back?
Man, everybody, all hoes got a video. Yeah, hoes, man, they're all of them, homie. Our mamas and everything was hot and freaky at one point in time.
Shout out Freak.
Eric, come on, homie. So, homie, all women freaky.
Hey, hey.
Especially if you that. It's just a problem. A lot of you ain't that, so y'all don't know how freaky she is. She just give you some, but with that and for that, yeah, nah, they go over and beyond.
Yeah, you ain't tested the limits here.
They go far and beyond the regular dude.
That question still haunts fans to this day, especially when you track the events that followed. Not just his sudden death, but the eerie silence that came with it. And then there's that rumor, the one barely whispered in public, claims that Pimp C and Beyonce might have had a brief private connection. Some even allege there are tapes, though nothing has ever surfaced to prove it. And apparently, that rumor about Beyonce didn't sit too well with Jay-Z. Now, none of this has ever been officially confirmed, but the whispers alone have been loud enough to leave a heavy cloud over Pimp C's legacy, the kind of eerie, lingering tension that makes people look twice at the timeline of events. Then things got even darker. Pimp's own cousin came forward and dropped a bombshell. According to him, Pimp C wasn't just found in his hotel room unconscious, he was covered in blood. That single detail flips the whole narrative on its head because it doesn't match the official story about a quiet overdose and sleep apnea. Not even close. His cousin straight up believed foul play was involved. And once that got out, the theories exploded. Fans had already been speculating for years that Pimp's refusal to play industry puppet and the rumored tensions with Jay-Z might have put a target on his back. Add in his relentless questioning about 2 PAC's shooting, and suddenly it wasn't just gossip. It started sounding like a warning. He spoke too freely, he didn't follow the script, and in a business where silence can save lives, Pimp C kept talking. And that so-called Beyonce connection, whether real or just rumor, it painted him even deeper into a corner he may not have known he was in. His raw truth-telling, his refusal to bow to powerful hands, and the timing of it all have left fans asking one question ever since. Was Pimp C taken out for knowing too much? Because his death? It's still one of hip-hop's most chilling mysteries. This right here, it's one of the most chilling and debated mysteries in hip-hop history. And when you start connecting the dots, it gets even messier. DMX's death, just like Pimp C's, has people asking the same question. Was it really just a tragic ending, or is something being covered up? Jay-Z's name keeps popping up for a reason. Folks have long accused him of not just chasing success, but erasing his competition. And when you're looking at DMX and Pimp C, 2 raw, powerful voices that Jay couldn't easily outshine, it's no surprise the theories start getting louder. Some claim it's all coincidence. Others, they're not buying it. Jaguar Wright and other former industry insiders have come forward with disturbing claims, straight up warning the public about Jay-Z's mysterious energy, his silence in certain tragedies, and the way his name seems to hover near events that don't ever get fully explained.
I want you to think about this. Sean Carter is responsible for enacting Hype Williams to put Aaliyah on a faulty plane, to move her out the way as punishment for rejecting him, and so he could level up Beyonce, who was struggling. Let's just say allegedly that happened. Now I want you to think about 106th and Park with Mary J. Blige. Free, who is a victim of Sean Carter.
Yeah.
Mary J. Blige, who is a victim of Sean Combs, are sitting there talking about the death of Aaliyah amongst each other. Think about that. You got a Diddy victim, you got a Jay-Z victim, and you got a superstar gone.
Some even hint at deeper connections to deaths that still leave more questions than answers. Whether there's truth behind these stories or it's all smoke and shadows, one thing's for sure.
I might not like what Jay-Z did, but guess what I don't do? Go out of my way to not play his songs on my show. No, I'm not spiteful. I don't try to harm people. I don't do smear campaigns behind the scenes.
And don't take away from his artistry.
I don't ever do that. We're clear. Jay's one of the best to do what he does. Also, what he did to Colin was absolutely wrong.
The fear, the fascination, and the whispers won't stop anytime soon. Because people are still asking, how deep does Jay-Z's reach really go? So now we want to hear from you. Is all of this just conspiracy talk? Or is there a darker truth buried beneath the glitz, the Grammys, and the global empire? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And if you're into content that peels back the layers of the industry, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video. We'll see you in the next one, because this rabbit hole, it goes even deeper.